feel like this mic needs to be a little bit higher, though. I don't want to have to be down here. But maybe if I
fix
tilt
it. So
I'm going to fix you.
We've got a special episode today.
Oh, we on?
Yeah, we're
on.
on.
Welcome,
we're live.
everyone.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Come
on in.
We're
Stay a while.
sponsored today. They don't know it yet.
You can't say that. I'm pretty sure that's
You're right.
illegal.
That's like illegal or something, right? Like
fake sponsors.
What are they gonna do? Sue me?
They might.
They might.
Dude, flag our channel. Do some all the fail.
I bought another Blue Yeti microphone, and it came with a game, and it's a giveaway to all our wonderful viewers out there.
All of them. They all get one.
No,
Damn.
just one special lucky person. So if anyone wants Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we have a giveaway.
It's not Odyssey.
What is it?
You don't even know what you're giving away. You're the worst.
Sorry, Assassin's Creed Origins.
You're like the guys who do their ad reads and they don't read through it.
Yeah. No, but
they don't read through it first
anyone,
and they don't know the language.
If anyone wants this, you can message me, you can comment. Yeah, anybody at all. Just, I'll give you the code. There we go. Today's sponsor.
You're just going to give that they don't have to do anything?
Nope. Watch us, like us, subscribe.
So they just send you a DM, give me the code, and you'll give it to them?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm going to send you a DM.
No,
Why
you can't
not?
have it.
Why not? Well, if you said
want it-
anybody,
if you
I'm
want
a
it, you
viewer
can-
of this channel too. Not only am I
Okay,
the
get
comedic
them-
relief,
get
I'm
them
also
before
the
Corey
best
does.
consumer. It's not live. They don't
It's
have a
not
chance.
like- Well, we'll see what happens with. We'll see who gets this. Okay, and I'll announce.
First person to message, yeah, sorry, it's gone. You too
No,
late.
it will go to a viewer. Did you? I feel like I told you. Did you want that?
No,
Okay, you don't want it.
no, I want it for PS4. Do you have a code for PS4?
I don't. It's for PC. And so you have to log on and redeem this code and download it. It's gonna be 50 gigs. And so that's why I'm not gonna play the game. I've got too many other great games, and I don't have 50 gigs on my computer that I want to put towards a game that I'm not gonna play very often.
What are you playing right now?
Playing like a little bit of everything. Like Witcher 2. I started.
When did you start that? This morning?
No, a couple of weeks ago. I played Hollow Knight
When did you play that?
yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
for 2 hours.
Nice. I think the last time you told me about that game, you didn't enjoy it.
It's okay. I mean, I like it.
Okay.
But I subscribe to the subreddit indie gaming, and people have really interesting mechanics and new ideas and artwork on there.
Yeah, Hollow Knight's kind of the catalyst of all that. No,
It's a big indie
not
game.
the catalyst, I'd say. I haven't played it, but it's definitely popular, definitely appreciated by the fans. So
Yeah.
definitely a good product of /r indie gaming, /r/indie gaming,
Yeah.
r/r/indie
You
gaming.
you finally got there.
I got there.
You have
Just
been
woke up.
playing a new game. You've been playing Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World.
Enjoying that.
Yeah.
Looks like Dark Souls a little bit. Looks like Dark Souls meets Final Fantasy to me when I walk past you playing it.
Sure. I haven't gotten to like the big bosses, and there's not like levels per se, or at least as far as I can see. But it's definitely like a looting simulator,
Yeah.
going around,
Yeah. It's like
picking
an
up
MMO.
mushrooms, picking up rocks, picking up ammo, picking up tracking monsters, and you have a fight, and it lasts like, if you're by yourself, it's like a 20-minute fight for like
Yeah.
a T-Rex, and you're gonna fight like elder dragons that are the size of islands, and you're like, I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, the monster fights look really cool.
Yeah. That's definitely the allure.
Kind of reminds me of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
One of your favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to finish that.
Is that game like times 10?
Yeah.
Maybe times 5. 10 would be like a really big jump, but I think it's fun. It has the multiplayer aspect, whereas Monster Hunter doesn't have that. You have to play by yourself. But in Monster Hunter, you can invite 3 of your friends, all be in a party, fighting things that kind of like scale up, so you're still like incentivized. It's not like a static level of a boss and you get 4 people and you just destroy it. No, it'll be more challenging the more players you have. So.
Okay, so it like
Yeah.
scales.
Right.
Yeah, all those like MMO stuff just never grabbed me. I tried so hard to play MMOs.
It's because you don't have any friends to play with.
I had lots of friends online.
You don't anymore.
I don't know why you say this. I have as many friends as I want.
0.
I don't know why it's not like it's like me calling you fat. It like
does not
shoot and
compute.
miss, yeah.
Shoot and miss. Unfazed. I thought it was funny. They probably think it's funny.
Okay, good. I hope they do.
Me too. Because if they're not laughing, then why am I here?
To provide good insights on movies.
I hope so. Call in. Let me know if I have any good insights.
You've had some. You've had a few. Did you get any anything worth talking about for this movie?
No.
I mean, you wrote some stuff down.
Yeah, it was a snooze fest. I was just writing notes for a totally different project. I'm gonna review those while you're talking.
No, this movie was awesome.
We started it up and you're like, what's the rating you gave it for the first time you watched it? And I said 4 out of 5 and you said same.
Yeah.
Did that change after the second viewing?
It's a 4 out of 5, but 2 scenes in the movie are like 5 out of 5 scenes.
You gonna go into that, or you
The ending?
let that hang?
No, okay, all right. Want to make sure I was prompted. I want to be asked, okay?
I'm not asking you a goddamn thing.
The bear scene with the screaming person inside the bear. It was just scary. Yeah.
Just like that.
It was freaky. And then killing the bear. And then the ending, which maybe we can go into a little bit later on, because I want to make this kind of start these episodes off spoiler-free-ish, and then as we dive into it, if people want to keep listening, then we're going to go into spoilers.
But, the whole movie's fake. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's not what I'm supposed to say. I'm supposed to say this to the end, dude. I'm so sorry.
That's not even an accurate spoiler. You're just throwing confusion into the mix, and it's not funny, and it doesn't add anything to the podcast. I appreciate if you would stop.
That hurts. It hurts.
Leave. I'm going to do this solo.
Okay.
No, don't leave.
I don't know. I got better things to do, dude. Than this
I got
fucking
better things to do.
too small to fail.
Can you come back?
I just wanted to hear you say it. Need some circulation.
We had some good sci-fi movies that came out with this one and Arrival and Interstellar.
I was gonna equate this to Arrival, like when she's having that LSD trip at the end and she's staring at the culmination of what was at the White House.
All right, we're talking
the
about the
lighthouse.
end. Okay.
I thought of Annihilation.
We're going. Sorry, guys. We're going straight to the end.
I thought
All
of
right.
Arrival when they're trying to communicate with like the aliens in the ship, and they're
Yeah.
throwing out these random patterns, and you're just trying to understand them. But in that movie, it was a different timetable. They have time. They can analyze. Blah blah blah. And of course, they figure it out, or at least progress. Whereas this one's kind of like everything happens. You're just like, okay, well, I guess I'll try to figure it out.
Great analysis.
Thanks.
I liked this movie with sci-fi aspect to it. It's almost like a sci-fi horror. So it had some horror elements to it.
I think it had some gory elements and some allure, but I wouldn't say it's a horror.
Okay. It was kind of creepy.
I think it was more disturbing than creepy.
And it was mysterious.
Yeah. Well, mysterious only because that's the way that they portrayed it. I wouldn't say it's like, oh, we don't know what's going on. We know what's going on, but that thing we can't describe.
So the whole journey of going into the shimmer, that's a mysterious thing, and then weird things start happening. And then they want to get to the lighthouse to discover this thing that's happened. An asteroid hit it.
Sure.
And so that all is a mystery, and it's a journey, so they're projected forward. So they're all like, things are happening on their way to their journey, which is to the lighthouse. People get killed off.
Right.
They see monsters.
Everyone gets...
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler. Everyone survives.
Well, whatever. If you... I just hope we don't turn people away from watching us in the future if they're like, oh, well, I can't watch these guys because I haven't seen the movie yet.
Oh, well.
If you don't
Step
care,
one.
But it's like...
the first item in the description of the video, like you click on it, you see the video and the description, it's like spoilers.
I don't really write those.
Oh,
Maybe
well.
I should. But I mean, if you're I'm trying to think of from a consumer. If you just click on our video and say like episode 17, Annihilation, you know what you're getting into.
If we're gonna talk about, yeah, I don't think there's necessarily.
But then they're not even going to click on the video and watch us if they haven't seen the video. So then they have to go watch the movie, and then come back and see what our thoughts are.
Okay, we'll edit in post. Spoilers right after the intro. Everyone dies.
I'm not editing anything. Whatever. We'll see what this turns into. I'm sure we could be doing this a different way, more optimally, gather more viewers, but work in progress.
Work in progress.
I've never done
Too
this
small to
before.
fail. Oh, I've done this many times, dude.
You've
I
never
think
done this
14
either.
times,
You haven't
I
done
think.
shit. And I mean, the fact that we have a new setup and 2 microphones, I'm just thrilled about that.
Mhm.
So
We can talk about whatever we want, and we'll still be.
yeah,
Dude, it was great because we had individual voices.
you know we're racing on episode count with Joe.
Don't say his name.
Just Joe.
He shall.
He shall not be. Well,
Name.
I don't care if he gets views on the current ones. I don't want him to keep outproduce us.
At least you do.
Of course, I want him to outproduce. Yeah, I want him to keep going and be successful. 'Cause
You're encouraging all of our community to get.
yeah. Let's dive deep into the movie. What do you give it after your second watch?
4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5. So it got better the second time you watched it.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Wow. Did you think the entire movie was real, or because it kind of felt like a dream?
Do I think the entire movie was real?
Do you think all aspects of the movie were real?
I don't think. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It felt like even watching this the second time, the very beginning when the husband walks in, so her husband, Natalie Portman, her character, Lena, her husband had been missing for a year because he went into what we find out later is the Shimmer.
Mm-hmm.
And weird shit started happening. But then he walked in, and that felt like a dream scene. I thought
that very beginning scene where she's just imagining this is all in her because she's painting and she's on paint thinner, so she's probably hallucinating off a little bit of that.
I don't think that was a detail included in the movie.
Yeah, but you just have to assume, right? Like all that paint in that room. I didn't see a fan. I didn't see a window open. There's not good ventilation.
You have the dumbest take. All right,
Dude, she's taking a little bit of paint and she walks out and she sees her husband that she's been grieving over for 6 months.
I didn't think I was real, and it turned out it was real. That her husband was really there. But
are you coming at this from remembering your first experience watching the movie, or?
Well, I'm
just
the second time. Just now, I'm sitting there watching it,
and you still didn't think that was
I was
real.
like, "Is this real? Is this real? Is this real?" And then they finally transition downstairs and have a scene where they talk about
what he did.
What he experienced. He
Right.
can't remember anything.
Right.
And that added to the mystery. And then I decided at that point, like, okay, he really came back.
I see.
Yeah.
That's weird that you didn't remember that from the first time because there's no way that couldn't have been real when they just hop in an ambulance and.
But
then...
the way they shot it was so mysterious.
That's true.
You're almost thinking like, are these things actually happening? And then when it ultimately leads up to the end, it's so bizarre and so crazy, and the music and the way it's shot, it's like, is this really happening? And so part of me thinks like they leave it to the viewer almost to decide, like Inception, where this is real or not real. But I think all of it happened.
I agree.
In the context of the movie.
I think there was maybe a few like illusions.
Sure.
Or just different perspectives from different characters, but I think everything that we were shown on camera happened. Every scene transpired. It wasn't all chronological, obviously, because there's flashbacks back to her still with him before he went on the mission, and that he disappeared into the Shimmer and stuff like that.
And this is like opposed to like Arrival. Now, let's not spoil anything about Arrival in case people haven't seen that movie. Like if you've seen Annihilation, go watch Arrival. You'll like that one too. But let's not spoil anything from that movie.
Probably like it more. Spoiler.
I like Arrival more, I think.
I do too.
I have to rewatch it, but this movie was great.
Arrival hands down is better.
Okay, but
what's better than that? Interstellar.
Okay.
That's our next episode. Spoiler.
Interstellar's awesome, but Arrival feels like more like a grounded movie. This feels like drug-like, like almost like Midsummer Night's Midsummer's Night Dream. I think that's what it's called. The play by Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is very dreamlike, and you're not sure if it's real or if people are actually having this conversation or not.
Or Midsummer altogether. The movie
Midsummer,
we've already...
the movie. Yeah, sure.
We've already...
It's very much like that, yeah.
For sure. Like, you have the flower, like, similarities. Jesus. Don't do drugs, kids. Mostly caffeine.
But yeah, it wasn't a very... It's not a very grounded movie. Things feel airy and disjointed.
I think things are a lot more theoretical.
Okay.
This movie's a little bit more like... Not primal, but... They're not trying to, like, convince you anything. This is an experience. The same thing of, like, people trying to convince friends and family to take LSD or something. Like, oh, you should really do it. Not because you're taking a drug or because you want to escape or, you know, all those outside influences you can have on a decision. No, this is just for you to have the experience, to just try it. If you don't like it, don't do it again. If you do...
The ending was definitely like a drug trip.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a...
Well, that's what I mean. Compared to Arrival, it's like a little bit more... Oh, you want to take this drug? Oh, but you need to take this drug because it's going to help you type thing.
For
There's a little bit more like...
What?
There's a little bit more... It's just grounded more.
Arrival is more grounded? Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean about the taking...
Well, if you, like, take LSD for this movie, the other one would be, to use a metaphor... I lost where I was going. That you interrupted me. Damn it, Michael. Damn it.
All right, pick it up later. No, but the end of this movie did feel like a DMT trip. Like I remember being like very stunned by the end of this movie when I was in the theaters, and the audience was kind of like captivated by it. Like a theater full of people, and nobody was really like, everyone was kind of into it, and you're kind of experiencing this relatively quiet climax to a movie.
Yeah.
Where she's at the end. She reaches the lighthouse. Weird shit starts happening. She sees a hole in the ground. She goes in there. Bizarre creature, alien thing comes out. I mean, her looking into that floating, like, 3-dimensional or 4-dimensional, it was like a box, really colorful with flowers. Like, it was... It was crazy.
If you look back at Natalie Portman's, or at Lena's, like, her interview with what is it called, post, when you come out of a mission and you go into like post like interview, there's a word for that and I could not remember. I still cannot remember. You know, like special agents out of an agency, they'll go, all right, your disorientation or your like post mission interview, there's some word for it. Anyway, she's being interviewed by the...
I know what you mean. Yeah, but...
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
So they're all in the suits and they're interviewing like what happened after. Briefing? And she's like, like post briefing, debrief. We got there. Yeah, she's in her debrief interview because she has come out of the shimmer, and that's what a couple of
briefs
flashbacks.
For boxers.
What?
Briefs for boxers. Briefs for me.
Oh, you're talking like what? Jesus.
I think you're a briefs guy. I'm gonna pull
a Michael and
you're a briefs guy, aren't you?
Oh, this guy.
I own one pair of boxers. Really don't like it. Everything gets way too sweaty.
Yeah, well, I think most of Florida is in a brief situation.
Yeah, a lot of briefs going on around here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, debriefing.
Yeah. Thanks for derailing my train of thought. Nice job.
Just continue on, bitch.
Can you rewind so I can watch what happened?
Nobody's rewinding. So get on track, dude. The debriefing situation needs to stay on track.
I don't remember what I was talking about now.
What are you,
I was comparing it to something else we were talking about. Oh, debrief. You're talking about box. Oh yeah, when the interviewer or the whoever's in charge of like interviewing her.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what?
In the coronavirus out like gear, whatever. That's what we're all gonna be wearing here.
I wanted to have a mask and just bring it in, and then when you sneeze the next time, just put it on real quick. Just don't say anything. Just.
Dude, we got
mask up.
Yeah, we're this is the last reasonable time.
This is the last possible episode that it could happen for us. I mean, we live in Florida.
I lost all my money in the stock market. I was so fucking pissed, dude. I look at my phone, my Fidelity app, and I'm just like, God damn it! I was like $1,000 $200 up and all my gains, dude.
That is so disappointing. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thanks. You have to reach around all this fucking microphone equipment.
So I reached through.
Yeah. Don't. You'll probably fuck something.
You've already hit the mic like 3 times. It doesn't matter.
But about this like drug trip at the end is that I was describing to Jolie when we were in the car. You know, you talk about a cool movie that you just saw, and I love when movies like force you to talk about them or encourage you to talk about them after the movie. And so Inception was probably the number one movie that you wanted to talk about with everybody in the car on the way home. And even the second and third time I saw it, like I had the same thing. But I just like I listened to a Terrence McKenna. He's this guy who died in like the year 2000, maybe 2001, and he was a botanist, a very like studied, smart person, like very studious, very almost like I've heard him described as a bard, so a modern day bard where he kind of gets up on stage and just talks about drugs, talks about culture, talks about.
Does he do any singing?
No singing.
Interesting.
But have you never heard of Terrence McKenna?
No, I know who you are. I'm waiting.
Okay.
I'm letting you describe the fucking audience. You don't need to describe him to me. We talk about him like every other week. Why you're not describing it to me? You're describing it to them.
Yeah. So he had a thing on what it feels like to do a DMT trip. Like I've never done.
I like how you called him a bard and he doesn't sing. That.
No, but I've heard him describe. I watched a YouTube guy of Thorin, Duncan Thorin Shields, who's this esports journalist, talk about how he's a modern day bard, and so I've always liked that classification of Terrence McKenna.
I see.
And he's just very articulate. And no matter what he talks about, you're kind of interested in what he has. I go to sleep listening to him all the time. Just put him on YouTube on my phone and just go to sleep. But he has this this video, or there's a video of him talking about a DMT trip, and like you smoke it, you take 2 or 3 giant hits, you lay back, you close your eyes, and there's a flower or something. He calls it the chrysanthemum. And if you've taken enough of the drug, you feel like you're projected forward, and you smash through that chrysanthemum, through the middle of it, and on the other side there are like these indescribable objects that there's no way they could exist in time and space.
It's all a figment of your imagination.
Well, he thinks that it's a realm that you break through, and if you and I both smoke DMT, we would both be in the same place talking with these beings.
4th dimensional.
Yeah, and he calls them the DMT elves. It's crazy shit, dude. I encourage everybody to listen to it. But
he has a bunch of videos on YouTube.
Yeah, he was an interesting guy.
Yeah.
The stoned ape theory.
I recommend listening to McKenna like just walking through nature.
Yeah.
There's nothing really to focus on nature. Your eyes are kind of just wandering around, but you can like really pay attention to what he's saying, and you can get more out of it if you're not listening to it while you're busy doing something.
Sure. Yeah. And just a psychonaut who's very articulate, and
I like that better than bard. A psychonaut.
Psychonaut's probably a more accurate term.
Yeah. If he was singing, bard would fit right on the money.
Well, a bard meaning it's someone who can speak to a crowd, and I mean he could just talk and talk and talk. Like Dave Chappelle's like that.
Just call him Jesus. He was good at that too.
Jesus was probably good at that.
Yeah.
So I hear. But I don't have YouTube recordings of him.
So that'd solve a lot of our problems, probably.
That would sort a lot of stuff out. But yeah, I remember like that video and that description of a DMT trip.
And that's
what I equated when I watched this movie. I said, oh, that's exactly what.
So when she's at the bottom of the lighthouse and you're seeing that quote box that you described, I didn't think it was a box. It's literally, for me, it's like when you put on those what is that called?
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah, it's one eye. I don't know why I put both eyes. I was thinking that thing where you click the thing and it switches the and it's been a little.
That's a throwback, dude.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah,
kids are not doing that growing up.
I think I found one time in like a thrift store. And you just like, oh, look, I remember these. And you click through it and just like really old images. You're like, wow. Anyway, kaleidoscope you look in. and this one was like, you know, floating in this movie. So it's a very good. They did so well with like the visual effects in this movie. The wall limited. You don't.
Pretty much flawless.
You never see like them try to portray it like over a large area. You just see a wall of it. You don't have to worry about, you know. It's not. They didn't try to be over ambitious with what they were trying to do with how they used their visual effects.
Okay.
They kept it very like small.
Like it wasn't
and,
epic.
Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, let's zoom out of this Florida area and try to show you this island and that kind of like, you know, sometimes as a movie viewer myself, and I see stuff like that in science fiction things, and I'm like, that's not how it would look, or that's not how it would work, and that kind of like brings me out of the experience. So I like that they didn't try to like do something that was overly big or huge, or, you know, when you did see the aliens and the body and stuff like that, it was just moving. You didn't see a head. You didn't get scared by anything. There wasn't anything like hyper unrealistic. Okay. It was still within the realm of like, if I was on DMT, I'd probably see that, like, you know. And that's kind of what even the actors think, like, oh, that's a trick on your mind, and that's kind of how they made that. The CG is like, are they tricking you? Is this really what they're seeing? Because you know that they're in the shimmer and stuff like that. So I like that about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what the definition of annihilation is?
The definition of annihilation? No. What is the
complete destruction or obliteration?
I still don't see how the name of the movie fits with what we watched.
Well, your cells are being destroyed.
Yeah, but kind of the whole movie is like morphing. Like, you know that scene with the deer? She looks up and she sees a deer, and the deer looks up, and behind the deer is another copy of another deer.
It's mirror. It's twin.
It's twin, and they kept showing like cells dividing, like, what's that called? Like mitosis or whatever. What's it called? The mitochondria.
Mitochondria are a type of cell.
The powerhouse of the cell. What do they call it?
The nucleus.
No, not the nucleus. The some other M name. I blanked on it.
It's the nucleus. The powerhouse of the cell is the nucleus.
Whatever.
What are you thinking of? What are you trying to think of?
Are
you talking about the actual division of cells? Yikes. Both mics at the same time. Just hit the table real quick. Really good test for this anti-shake.
No, but anyway, so fuck it, whatever. The dividing cells.
Mitosis.
That kind of kept happening. So it's like the opposite of annihilation. It's dividing and copying.
Sure, but I think what's implied is the end result of this shimmer. If it takes over the whole world, it will obliterate it, because everything is dividing, but eventually you get to a point of an end. I think I had a quote. Our bodies and minds will be fragmented until nothing remains.
Okay.
That's a quote from Dr. Ventress when she gets to the lighthouse and she comes to her own realization when she gets there and she sees this alien life form, fifth dimensional being.
Yeah. I like thinking of it as a fourth dimensional being, like something that's outside the realm of.
I would need to look up the definitions of each dimension, but I think once you get to like the 7th or 8th, communication breaks down. Like you're not able to even understand what.
The simple way to think about it, I read a book where there was two-dimensional beings and like how they had a society and getting along with each other.
Yeah. That shit's interesting.
Yeah, it was required for like a physics and philosophy class that I took, and they had a list of books, and you could just read. You had to read some and do a book report on that. And so I read this book, and it was really interesting. It was about two-dimensional figures and like.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Like, okay, so trying to go into, so you're a two-dimensional figure, and it's like, I think like the men of the society are straight lines, and the women are circles. So if you see a woman, you can never see, like, something about, they look like a sharp point, and then they kind of fade as they go along, like how you see a circle if we were just watching it on a 2D plane.
Right.
But the men are, it's kind of like same all the way through, the same
Right.
amount of thickness of the that you could see someone, and they would have rooms and houses, and they didn't have doors in this society. Like, you can't open up a door because a door looks just like a wall, but they could move around, and they find out or something that like women can't go into certain rooms because the men can turn themselves to go into a room, but as a circle you can't go in to certain places.
Okay.
And so this one guy, like, he's a main character, I forget his name, but he finds out that there's a third dimension, and a third dimensional being talks to him and says, like, he's like, where's that voice coming from? I'm from outside. I'm like up above you. What do you mean above me? And they had to explain that to him. And so the whole point of this book is that if you're a third dimensional being, as we are, what would a four-dimensional being talking to you sound like?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to get your mind thinking that
Oh, yeah.
way. And so this two-dimensional being eventually, like, discovers the other dimensions and tells everybody about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think of Dimensions, I think of Interstellar, just because of where they go with that movie towards the end as well.
Okay. But third dimension is pretty easy to understand. But then fourth dimensional beings are like, if you viewed your life as one continuous long line from birth to death, and a four-dimensional being will be able to operate
Within those. Yeah.
and choose you at any point. So I could talk to you when you were 12 or
Right.
you 10 years from now.
Right. There's probably a lot of movies that touch on this. I would be curious to
I don't think so. I
give
mean,
a good Google to that.
if there are, I want to watch them, and
Yeah.
I kind of seek those out, and I don't really see a whole lot of that. Like, Interstellar definitely is one of them, because they travel to
Yeah, he does.
the fourth,
Yeah.
fourth dimension.
Right.
The way they portrayed that in that movie was insane.
Insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Hyper realistic though. Like, I feel like that's how it would
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, obviously no one can know, but
It's almost impossible to, like, film something like that. So
Yeah.
the way they did it was very creative.
oh yeah, some have McConaughey falling, and then have lights behind him while he's, and he ends up finding it and stays still, and he's able to see it because he can see down dimensions, but obviously his daughter can't see
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could choose at any point in time
Right.
where he wants to go and,
Right.
and appear. Yeah, that was really cool. And they explain everything. I love when they wrap everything up at the end and explain things throughout the movie.
Yeah, you like that closure?
Yeah.
You didn't want to be left on a kind of on a tangent like this movie and Inception.
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna be on your phone now?
Yeah.
Dude, great. All right. While he's talking, I wrote down a second definition for annihilation. The second
about that. That's
definition
not
is
professional.
in physics. Shut up. I'm talking.
Yes, sir.
In physics, it's the conversion of matter into energy, especially the mutual conversion of a particle and an antiparticle into an electromagnetic radiation.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't. That second definition sounds like more of what this movie.
I think it's probably a closer description of what's happening, but I think the first one still applies in the culmination of, or quote, our bodies and minds will be fragmented until nothing remains.
Yeah.
So that is complete destruction. But in physics, it's,
Converting matter to energy. So yeah, annihilating something.
Yeah.
Like in this movie, I almost think of the phosphorus grenade. So they
You know what a
pulled-
phosphorus?
It's like a
phosphorus-
flashbang.
No.
No, what is
I
it?
don't think so. You'd call it a flashbang.
Just CS:GO terms here. Kobe. Rest in peace.
Doesn't phosphorus burn any organic material?
I don't know.
And I don't think it's like a traditional burn either. It creates fire as a
Okay.
byproduct, but I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure a phosphorus grenade does totally different things than something like a high explosive grenade or a flashbang.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of is when they would, because that's how the creature thing, the fourth dimensional being, was defeated, was annihilated, because she pulls the phosphorus grenade and it kind of burns this creature down and lights the whole lighthouse on fire.
Fire is the end of all things.
Yeah. That is very interesting that they would. You know that they put in thought for the name of the movie.
Oh, 100%.
Arrival, it's like creatures appear.
Yeah.
That's
Annihilation is also a book.
Yeah.
It's a novel by Jeff Vandermeer.
Oh, look at you.
I'm prepared, dude.
Look at this. This is a new side of Corey I've never seen.
All right, I'll close my notes. I'll go back to regular Corey. Done with that shit. We'll just listen to you drown on and put us to sleep. Like,
well,
what's his name?
Movie? Alex Garland.
Alex Garland. Dude, you didn't hear me say that? Echoes. You know, it's interesting. I heard you listening to an interview with a couple of the stars, and the interviewer asked, what's her name? Jennifer Leigh from Hateful Eight. She played
Daisy Domergue.
Yeah, she played Daisy Domergue in that, but I forgot to write down her name in this. Anyway,
I don't know.
their
She's
character.
a psychologist.
Yeah, she was a the team leader, I guess, that went in and was pushing everyone,
cancer.
and she had cancer.
Yes.
That was a big part that I probably missed. I was trying to write down all these notes and forgot one of those key big ones. Anyway, she's having this interview, and the interviewer's like, all right, I saw the movie yesterday, but can you give us a hint on, what it actually means to you, or, what you guys talked about? Just give me a hint. And she's like, echoes. And that's actually a line that she says in the movie as well. No, I think Portland says that. She says mutations, corruptions, duplicates, echoes. And then the guy interviewing her in the movie says hallucinations. He's asking her if there were hallucinations. Yeah. So kind of all of those words end up being synonyms in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. That's a good. This movie is. You're not sure if what you're seeing is actually what you're seeing, or if it's like an echo of something else.
Yeah.
Or it represents something different.
You know what it's kind of like? This just came to me. It's kind of like your first time having sex. Like, is this really happening right now? Like, because they keep flashing back to like sex scenes in this, like Portman riding her friend, like riding to Kingdom Come, Old Town Road, all the way home.
I'm just so surprised. I don't know what's gonna come out of your mouth next. It's like, what?
I have a lure. That's why they come back to this channel, dude.
What are you saying? It's like having sex the first time. What? Old Town Road.
Ride till the gang go.
Are you serious, or did you just want to say dumb shit? So you're serious?
The best effect was you putting your head on the table, just laughing hard. That's all I needed. All right, we're on back to our regular point. What were we talking about?
Explain what you mean by that.
Dude, there's so much sex in this movie.
I thought there was a reasonable amount of sex. I didn't think there was so much sex.
It's a great date movie. Really get you in the mood after. Just because it's done horror and like tense movies and suspenseful ones, kind of like.
Okay, you should watch It Follows. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
So anybody who watches that movie, the next time you go watch it, there is a sex scene or something sexy that happens before every like horror part of that movie. It's almost like clockwork. Like.
Can we spoil that movie?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
What?
Literally, you have sex to get rid of the monster.
Oh yeah. That's the yeah. You have to have sex with someone else, and it passes it along.
Correct.
But
then it follows them.
Yeah. And the best part of the movie is that the best part of that creature is that it kind of does it at a normal walking pace. It's not like crazy fast or anything, or
right.
It's kind of
just
slow and
a regular walking, never ending, always will be following you.
Yeah. But
okay, Google, can you give me a soundboard? I need one for my podcast. I'll let that work.
Yeah.
While it's searching for that.
I would love to get a sound. You would be a problem. We'd have to do it like only on even episodes or something. Like can't do it every episode.
All right, Corey, you can have it today. All right, you better behave though, because next episode we're gonna take it away, bitch. Okay. Sorry, master.
What else do you want to say about the fact that sex and horror are closely aligned sometimes?
I don't know the science behind
I
it.
think it's because if you're scared or if you're aroused, your body like has the same.
Similar reaction.
Yeah.
Is that mentally or physically?
Boner.
Pain?
Pain. Oh, jeez.
You started it, dude.
Whatever. You want to get into the notes?
The nitty gritty
The nitty gritty
of the sex scenes? Yeah, dude.
You can do that later. Do that on your own. I like the journey into the shimmer. That was an interesting part about it.
What do you mean, the journey into the show?
Well, it's the whole point.
The camera moving through and crossing the plane, them walking in the field into. Are you enjoying just them like breaking the threshold of the shimmer, or are you talking like post that and 4 days in?
I like that they go in, and then it hard cuts to 4 days into, like, Natalie Portman gets out of her tent and she's like,
And this is
"How long have you
post.
been here?"
This is post sex scene again, right? Or is this just a
I
flashback
don't
to
know.
her?
That's your expertise. You're the one
No,
that
no, no.
mentioned.
Because every time she wakes up, or every time we come back to reality, when she's already in the shimmer, right before we cut to Natalie Portman, there's always a scene with her, with someone else at home. Sometimes it's her husband, sometimes it's her African American coworker,
Her sex boyfriend.
her comfort coworker.
Her
CC?
squeeze.
A squeeze would be just like someone you just go to a party with.
Okay.
What do you call someone you let put their dick in you?
Your FOB. No,
Friends.
that's your key that you. You're friends with
Your
their
fob.
FWB.
Your fob.
Your fob, dude.
What do you? What? That's
I
what.
just fucked
Your
up.
key? What do you mean your key?
Your fob, your FOB, like that's what they call a thing to get inside. Like I had to have a FOB to get into the pool and workout area at my old apartment complex.
Oh, do you know what that stands for?
Friends of benefits.
No.
What does it stand
I don't know what it stands for.
Well, then what the fuck did you ask me?
I was asking if you knew.
You just use this as a learning opportunity.
I like to educate our audience. Educate about movies and life, dude. A well-rounded podcast.
I don't know what you would call that. Was she still with her husband at that point, or had he been missing?
I think she was sleeping with her coworker while he was gone that year.
Okay, and she
But they
felt
just-
really bad about it afterwards. And he was like, "No, it's okay."
We connect, bro. We get each other on a different level. It's okay.
He was in 2 scenes. That guy.
He was in the very first scene where he's like, "It's been a year, bitch. Get your life together. Come to my house with my party."
Yeah.
I think he was also married too. It made it sound like at that point that he was
Oh, it's
like with
true.
his wife and he's having
Yeah.
friends over for work and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You should come along to this party. We can get you laid by me. Or hook up with one of your friends. And she's like, no. And then eventually, I think she cheats on him while
Yeah.
he's gone. She finds out later that he's not coming back, or she assumes as much.
You know what's interesting is that we're talking about this, but like, that was probably the only diversion for this. This movie was pretty straightforward. It was, we need you to go on a mission, to go into the shimmer, and then go to the lighthouse.
They never ask her.
Well, she like volunteers herself. And
right.
She says she wants to go.
She wants to go because she feels guilty and because she feels like she has to honor him
Well, she's like, I have.
or redeem herself to him.
Yeah, I have to go find out. But it's not like this. There's multiple things happening in this movie. It's very straightforward. It's not a. There's not like. I don't think there's a B plot.
Yeah, there's no other
There's no other.
character.
stories.
No one else is gonna meet up with her.
And
You
even
thi-
and
it's-
then when it's like at the end, that once that's resolved, she like the movie ends with her hugging her husband and them going, "Are you really Kane? Are you really Lena?" And she goes, "I think so." And then
She doesn't say anything.
Oh,
She never answers.
Okay.
Get the details right, Michael. That's important for your interpretation. If you can't,
You can tell me how to watch movies and talk about them.
continue.
But once it was over, it was over.
How did I do that? Did I do it well?
No.
What you do? No.
No,
Do I have to go faster? Is it a faster pace when you get?
you have to look more uncomfortable.
Oh,
That's the trick.
damn it. All right, I'll work on it.
Yeah. But anyway, all right. Next detail.
Next bullet point.
Next bullet point.
Yours is actually dashes,
I thought it
not
was
bullet
weird.
points.
I thought it was weird that she gets past the sleeping guards to see her husband at the beginning. I was like, was that intentional? Because her husband comes
You think
back.
the actress fell asleep at? And action. Oh, am I supposed to be awake here? I'm so sorry.
Oh, shit. It's hard being an extra.
I'm not getting paid enough for this role. How long have you had me sitting on this wall? Not an actual soldier.
No, but okay, so the quick recap of the movie is that the husband comes back. Shut the fuck up, Corey. You're making this difficult. The husband comes back. He gets sick, multiple internal organ failures.
Doesn't have long to live.
He starts deflating from his mouth. He gets on an ambulance.
Projectile bleeding.
They get projectile bloody vomiting. And
BBV.
like that's the medical term. And then on the way to the hospital, they get ambushed by like FBI, Secret Service,
Now this
government,
is Black Ops.
Black Ops, Space Force that Trump started, and they get to the hospital and they quarantine him away. And then Lena's like, she just wants to go see her husband, but then the guards are sleeping. So to me, it made it seem like the government or whatever was blocking off. Don't you yawn at me?
Yeah, I'm falling asleep listening to you. Sorry.
Just pay attention for like 5 goddamn seconds of your life, and just keep on track.
45 minutes already.
If you have something to add, make it good. All right.
I'll write on the
So-
money, dude. 45 minutes.
Do you think that there was some sort of like weird, the government or that psychologist wanted her to go
Manipulating situations that she could get out of her cell, go see her husband.
Because there was no like.
I don't think that was like post interview. You're in my office. All right, now you have free roam of the
was weird,
compound. I think it was her. I've decided I'm going, and they're allowing me to say goodbye.
I think the government manipulated her to be able to go see her husband, and she thought it was her idea. Like she snuck past the guards so that she could talk to him, and then that caused her to want to be part of the team to actually go in.
Yeah, she saw his condition. She's like, babe, I'll get revenge. I'll be back for you. Then she goes on the mission, dude. She was never asked. She's like, I volunteer for tribute! How many times do you think I've blown their eardrums this episode? Turn down my gain.
Whatever the number is, it needs to stop. Corey, I love you. Just so you know, you're like my best friend. I love you.
You're my best friend too, buddy. Most days.
You like me most days.
5 out of 7.
Shut up, Corey.
2 days. I can't fucking stand you.
I'm gonna keep going unless you.
Oh, I know you are. That's why I just like witness myself in front of
They
you.
were disoriented upon entry, so they were trying to set up the camp. They lost 3 or 4 days. That was really interesting.
I wrote disorienting 0 to 100. They walk through the shimmer and they're like, 4 days have passed. What the fuck? Everyone's like, we don't know what's going on. No, we don't either, bro. We got food for 3 days, bro. It's like walk through and you're just like 4 days went by. Like holy shit, it's like 2020 already, dude. It's February. It's March 1st already. Holy shit, it's been 2 months of this year.
Yeah.
We already lost.
No one remembers. I like that. They find an abandoned house. They go in. The crocodile.
Real quick summation.
Yeah, the crocodile was cool with the shark teeth.
The mutation of his dental gums.
You are so scientific. Dude. You are such a scientist.
Specific with my language. You could call me a bard.
Neither of us are fucking bards, dude.
Dude, I hold a room great. What are you talking about?
You go hold.
If they're not laughing with me, they're laughing at me. I can hold the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially this room.
You should.
There's no
you should go out
competition.
with Joe and go to the open mic night at the Improv in downtown Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
and just sit there and watch other open micers go up there for like, I think they talk for like 5 or 10 minutes.
I don't find those people funny.
Well, maybe it could be you one day.
Nope.
No, you can't do that.
No.
I feel like I could do it if I tried.
You can do anything. You can.
Yeah, but I think I could I think it could be funny for 5 minutes with doing stand up.
Oh. I could too, but I don't like opening. I want to be the main attraction.
You just want it given to you?
Yeah.
You're delusional. I really liked how it was silent when they killed the crocodile. Like, it was kind of like an action scene that was sort of happening, and they had some music, but it was very subtle music.
No, that's because the crocodile wasn't really like all that threatening. It was walking up kind of real, almost sauntering from the lake onto the thing, and then she started firing bullets, and then it got mad, and then Natalie Portman went full Keanu Reeves, full clip into it, and then it kind of slowly died.
I didn't buy for a second that she was in the army, her character, because I was like, it just didn't work. I bought that her character was a scientist, because at the beginning there's that establishment of her talking to her students and explaining mitosis.
How cells work.
Yeah. But
and the applications for future doctors in that this is a cancer cell from a infant in blah blah blah. I lost the last two words.
It was a lady.
It was a what?
From her cervix.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was an infant.
No, it was a woman in her early 30s.
Woman in her early 30s with infantile blah 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 myastases. I don't remember the last two words.
We're so
I lost it.
We're so fucking dumb, dude.
No, I believed she was in the military for 7 years. I didn't think that it was that. I didn't think it was that far fetched. She said that's how she met her husband Kane. It was in the
doesn't strike me as a
military girl.
Like Charlize Theron definitely does from Fury Road.
Yeah, that's because she has short hair. You masochist.
That's not a masochist. What? It's misogynist, idiot. I'm sorry. Did it hurt your feelings when I call you an idiot like that?
No, because I'm not an idiot, right? Call in.
I don't like that joke. I don't think that's that funny.
Call in?
Yeah.
Tweet at me. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. On the gram. For a gram. So a little bit more details about the movie. Came out on February 23rd, 2018. It cost between 40 and 55 million estimated. It made 43 million back, so not a really high grossing project for Natalie Portman. Kind of disappointing.
How much did it make back?
43.
And how much did it cost?
Were you not listening?
Yeah, I was not.
Nice. And I'm the one that detracts from this podcast. Cost between 40 and 55 million estimated.
So it didn't.
The lowest estimates it made its money back.
Wow.
So it probably did not.
Bombed. I thought this was.
It was not a hit.
Oh, okay.
No.
Interesting. Should have been.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 88%. Metacritic. The Metacritic rating was 79. User score gave it a 7.1.
Okay. They're all wrong.
I'd say that's about average. Either people hated it, but no one was like, "Oh my god, you have to go see this movie." Otherwise, it would have been really a lot more popular. Like a sci-fi movie like this that has such a kind of such a unique experience. If it was really something special, you're gonna tell all your friends about it. Like, "Oh, have you seen Annihilation?" Blah blah. I think a lot of people now have seen Annihilation because
I've been telling people to go watch it.
Right, but at the time, it wasn't everyone flocking to the theater to see it. I think it was.
See, like Arrival was a bigger.
I mean, it was around.
Event.
It's been almost 2 years, like this time. Last episode, you literally said like nothing has come out in January, February. There's not a lot of huge releases, so you think in this drought that a movie like this would also do well, but
because it came out in March.
No, it came. I said February 23rd. February 23rd, literally 2 years ago, almost. Oh, 2 years in a week.
That's why we watched it for the 2 years.
But it's also leap year, so maybe it was only half. Never mind. I'm not even gonna try. Has Star Wars. What did you call him? Rob? No. What's the guy from Star Wars? Oh, Poe Dameron.
Oh yeah, she's supposed to be with Anakin, but she was with Poe.
Yeah, that's why she was sad. You said.
At the beginning of the movie, because Anakin turned to Vader. You fucking laughed. I was like, wow, that was a
I was a hit, dude.
That was a hit.
You knocked it out of the park on that one. I couldn't even pay attention to the beginning scene because I was laughing so much.
She was crying about her dead husband.
Crying about her dead husband as he turned to the dark side, and also said, and then I retorted, and it wasn't as good, but I made a reference to Black Swan. She fucked up the ballet, and that's why she's sad too.
That's why she's sad. Black Swan was a crazy movie too. Didn't like it as much though.
What'd you give that one?
3.
I gave it a 4.
Maybe a 2.
And by 4, I mean 8. I gotta stop conforming to your standards.
Yes. Look at you.
What is it called? Standardization
Yeah,
of metrics.
Yeah.
Gotta resist.
Literally my job. Okay, I'll keep going.
By the way, that I wrote a note here. Human wall mutation looks insane. You remember where they go into the abandoned pool, and
Yeah.
the video of Oscar of Kane
Poe
knifing
Dameron.
open his
You call
boy.
him Poe?
Poe? No.
I don't have to ask you. I'll just go do it.
Yeah, I know. I realized as you looked at me with a smile on your face, you're not gonna take my answer
I don't
at
give a
all.
shit. I'm calling him Poe.
Yep,
Was
So
his name Kane?
Kane. Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't the other guy?
Who? That's mine. Are you addicted to your phone, dude?
I'm
Dude,
millennial.
relax, dude.
27 years old. Of course I am.
Relax, bro. I don't have any new messages. Sad. I don't have any friends either. We're
And you're
alone.
ugly?
We're alone together. And I'm ugly. Fuck. I'm trying not to curse boys and girls. What was I talking about? Oh, the wall.
We've been cursing all episode. You don't care? Like
I'm
now
try-
you care?
I'm trying to
mid episode. You're like having a.
I'm trying to reduce. I was already consciously thinking about it, but I didn't give voice to
I
my.
don't think anyone watching cares.
Well, you know, sometimes I want that PG-13 instead of the R rating. If we go over
This movie
7
was
curse
PG-13.
words, yeah.
I was surprised by that. 'Cause
Why?
There was some. Like,
Some hardcore sex
The
scenes.
bear. No.
The bare ass of Natalie Portman.
No, there wasn't. Don't watch this going to think this is at least one person doesn't be like, ooh, really? Oh. But
I think it's sexy when a woman is in clothes on the back and you see her from the back.
You like that?
I do.
That does it for you?
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, it does it for me too. I like that too. Yeah.
So if you like that, you should definitely watch this.
Like trying to sell them on
10 solid seconds.
they show it twice too.
Yeah. We wanted to drive it home. Just like he did.
Yeah. And then it pans to the guy on the bottom in his O face.
Oh yeah, that was disappointing.
Yeah. That one does it for you.
No. Absolutely refute that fact statement.
You told me that while we were watching.
And I deny you, goddamn liar. Don't listen to anything Michael says.
It's like a tactic the media uses, like put out a rumor and make the person deny it.
Just perpetuate it. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm denying,
If I was a politician, I would not even respond to this.
that's the move, right? But then if you don't respond,
That I'm
Like,
willing.
it's damn
I'm
if you
willing to
can,
do.
if you don't.
I'm willing to take the. If I don't. Realize it. That's not the word. If I don't identify, what? God damn it.
yeah, like recognize it.
Yeah, if I don't recognize it, then
What is it about getting on a podcast that we
You.
get stupider? Because I don't like. I don't.
don't say stupider because that
I
makes
get-
you look stupider.
But my mind goes blank because I know there's a camera there. I know we're talking. I know it's gonna be
Yeah,
recorded.
and you have this weird thing, and people have told me before, like, oh, there's too much dead space. It's like, well, my fucking brain, my freaking
Your
brain,
freaking brain.
my
dude.
freaking brain doesn't work fast enough sometimes.
So you've heard that as a criticism of our podcast that there's dead space?
In the past, that there was a little bit too much dead space. Like, but I think most people nowadays are like,
Well, yeah, because we pause and I look down at my notes.
stop hitting the goddamn microphone.
We pause and I look down at my notes and I'm like, you kind of lead me off with like nothing. Like, I'm a yes and guy. Like, you say something, I go yes, and I add to it. I gotta work on giving you more room so that you can
Yeah,
open
dude.
up. And
Here's the fucking line. You stay on your half, okay?
it's funny because the cord comes down my line, so there's no getting away from my line. But then
I wish I could annihilate you.
If I do the same to you, you just don't like talk.
Yeah. It's a good dynamic.
I think it's a shitty dynamic.
Oh, okay. We'll find a new partner. Good luck. Get a
Open
hot
applications.
girl. Open application. Hit him up in his DMs if you want to be. Hey, I can be better than Corey. Hire me.
Dude, I would not want anyone except for you to watch movies with and talk about them.
Except Jolie.
Jolie, I'd rather have you in that seat across from me than Jolie.
Don't let her watch this.
No, I think me and her talked about it.
Her and I.
No, I think me and her talked about it.
I hate you so much. Trying to help you, man. I'm trying to educate you too and the audience. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about?
Nothing important.
Damn it, dude. You always derail us so far.
You derail us.
Oh, Dead Space. Not the game.
Not
Dead Airspace.
Good game.
Turn it off.
No one listens this far in. We're literally making this for nobody.
Yeah.
So, we're just having a good time.
Is that what Joe's metrics told you? It's like people view for like 10 minutes or less and then they're gone.
Oh yeah, no one is
perfect,
watching
dude.
this all
Because
the
this
way
is
through.
exactly what.
And I'm spending money. I'm buying pop filters. We're buying extra microphones. We're getting webcams. No one's.
It's going nowhere.
I'll get over it in a few months.
Don't worry, you can use this for your future like streaming project. Maybe you want to record videos and review books. You can do that really well with 2 mics.
I like to do that.
Yeah, I know.
With the 2 mics now, that's.
One for the pages. One so you can hear you turning the pages while you're reviewing it.
That is the dumbest thing.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It would have been better to say no.
This is why I don't go to the stand-up, dude. This is why I know that they're not funny and I'm not funny because we're just making bullshit up and sometimes it hits and most of the time it doesn't. So.
At one point, they kind of acknowledged that
Just
we're just
straight.
gonna go right back into it.
We need a
I don't know-
segue or something.
I don't know, dude.
Dude, you gotta have a better transition to that, man. Oh, how do I do it? Show me how do I do it.
Can you
How do I do
show
it?
me how to do? Can we run through like a couple?
How do I do it like that?
That's pretty good.
I can't smile though. You said I have to have a little bit more.
You gotta look uncomfortable, like, yeah, look like you're dying inside, because that's how I feel when I do that.
That's how I
That's
feel
pretty good.
too, but I'm not really good at like portraying it.
Expressing it.
Yeah.
You gotta express more.
Well, it's not so much express because they can't really see my face. It's more like portraying. My actions are showing that I'm in distress.
Yeah.
Just stress every time you talk. Anyway, back to the notes.
No, how can I better transition when you say some dumb shit and I want to get back on track talking about the movie? How can I better do that?
Well, you can use one word. You
Okay.
can say anyway and go back to your notes. But you can't just go like, I have a bullet point here followed by equally brutal bear killing. Let's talk about that point. That doesn't help me at all. That's not yes and. That's more like,
Shut the fuck up. Let's go.
you're gonna talk to yourself at that point because I wasn't with you on that ride. You got on and left me behind, dude.
It's like you're on the curb and I'm just gone.
I didn't make it in before the doors closed. And you're just talking to yourself now. All right. Go start swiping or something. No one's listening anyway, right?
No one's listening.
All right.
No, there's 0 people watching this.
The shimmer is mitosis. The result of mitosis inside the shimmer results in a shimmer copy. So that's why you have that twin of the deer.
Yeah.
If you eat a throat, you absorb the throat, so the bear can talk like a woman.
If you eat a throat, why would you say it that way?
Because
If
that's
you
the
eat the
only
throat?
that's the only injury the girl had when the bear
Oh, the
attacked her.
bear ate the girl's throat.
Yeah,
And then that's how he got her voice in there?
correct.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, because that's the only injury she had. Remember, Lena goes over.
Lena?
What's up, Lena?
What's
She's
up,
one of
Lena?
our viewers, right? No, she doesn't have fucking
Lena does not.
no time, no
Lena's my
patience.
sister's name, and no, there's no
No
way.
chance she's watching this.
No. She's bored when I'm face to face talking to her.
Maybe
she
because
goes on
we're-
her phone and like maybe she could be on YouTube on her phone watching us. That way in person she can look down and watch me and then look up when she's bored talking to me in person. That's a good idea.
I didn't follow you at all.
I don't know either. Shut the fuck up. Let's go. Get in. Let's go.
Anyway, Lena goes to look for the victim of the bear attack in the night, which, you know, it's interesting because in that scene when the bear attacks in the field at night, when Anya is accusing her of like manipulating the party, she says no one else saw the bear, but we see the bear when it snatches the girl who's supposed to be like on watch. We see the bear take her, and the light shine, and she sees the bear when she shines the light.
Yeah.
And Anya apparently says that her and none of the other party see the bear, and I thought that was interesting, like, because it's also said at some point in the movie that that Lena thinks that they're all sharing. It can't be a hallucination because they're all sharing the same.
It's like a shared hallucination.
Right.
They're all going crazy.
Right.
But they're seeing the same things, and like things get confused when you're in the shimmer. Like they lose time, they get confused about stuff, and one member goes crazy, and it's the lesbian chick, and she the dykey one. Is that a slur to say dyke?
I don't know.
Is that bad?
Call in. Let us know if
I literally don't know. Like I don't mean it like bad if that's the case. That would be real cringe.
physical pain.
Yeah.
Physical pain.
The dyke. It's like, oh, Michael, you shouldn't say that. I don't know if it's bad. It's like an.
We'll find out, I guess.
It's like
we get taken down
because
we're
people calling ladies birds. I don't know if that's bad or not. Mostly nice. Sounds nice.
The only time I've ever heard a British person refer to a lady as a bird is in Pirates of the Caribbean. Sweet little birdie, we'll take care of you.
That's an awesome accent. You should be
I was
a voice
born there,
actor.
dude, just like you. You know, that's a project I always wanted to do. Was like
What?
read, give. What is it called when you do an audiobook? What is the person who does the
Narrator?
voice? Is that a narrator?
Yeah.
So you narrate the book,
Yeah.
and then you listen to the audiobook and narrated by blah blah blah. That would be
Yeah.
my credits. I would do that. So yeah, I always thought it'd be an interesting vocation to be a
I've
narrator.
had one friend in college I lived with that I recommended. I was like, dude, you should be a voice actor. He's like, I've heard that from lots of people. And like, I hope he went on and did it.
Who is it?
My friend Matthew.
I know.
You know him?
Mm-hmm.
He was a funny guy. He was like a dorky black guy that was like a weeaboo. I love him. I don't mean dorky in a negative way.
I don't think you mean anything in a negative way, Michael.
No, I'm like trying to be a positive person, but
except when you say dyke.
Yeah, except for dyke.
You use that in a demeaning way.
No, if I did, I don't mean to. But no, I don't know if it's. Some people take offense if you call him dorky, but like a weeaboo, like the anime. He was like 22.
You think weeboos like being called weeboos?
Probably not, but that's okay. They're not gonna fight back.
I mean, it's the same thing as when people call you a dumbass. We know you're a dumbass, but you don't like being called a dumbass, so we just call you Michael. Right? Like you gotta extend that.
Like dumbass.
Oh, okay. All right.
Idiot.
I'll be Red, you be dumbass.
Red.
Yeah, from that '70s show. Oh, you never watched that show, dude.
No,
oh,
no,
you're
I missed all the
missing out on
references.
that.
Yeah. But anyway, he should have been a voice actor. I think I said everything.
That you wanted to say
All right.
about Matt. Anyway, I wanted. You think I could do it?
Become a voice actor?
Not
No.
actor, just narrate.
No.
Narrate books.
No, I don't think you're good enough.
Why?
I'm not sure that you know how to read. Like, you gotta be really good at it. I'm total guess, I would place your reading skill at a 4 out of 10. I consider myself to have an 8.
I don't think I could recover for that. That would hurt, dude. No, but for real, you don't think?
For real, I don't think you could be a voice narrator.
Why?
I don't think it's in your path, in your destiny. It's not. Why do you think you could be?
I don't think it's that challenging. You think I mumble or talk too fast, or I don't enunciate well, or I don't have a good voice to listen to?
Your voice is fine to listen to.
Okay.
I like listening to you. I think my voice is jarring, and I don't like listening to it. I don't apologize to everybody who has to listen to it.
Yeah, that's why we got you this handy dandy little. Is it touching again?
Filter.
Yeah, it's touching again. So, no, just leave it that way, cause I don't think it works very well. I think
Fill the dead space.
No, you're
Fill
filling.
the dead air.
You're filling the dead air with the movement
No,
of
that's
your
not-
wire
Nobody's
mesh.
watching. If they are getting to this point, their phone is like down and they're driving or sitting in traffic. Or
That's what
something.
they do when they start the video anyway.
Yeah, probably.
They're not watching it for the visual appeal. As much as there is on the right half of the video.
Dude,
They're not turning it on.
I'm way off on the left part of the screen. I gotta be closer. Like if I was right.
If you're
here.
sitting properly, yeah. But when you back up like that, the less of you see, the better. You were not sitting like that when we were testing it. Now that I'm looking over there, I think you're fine. I'm way over here too.
Whatever, dude. I think you should go and try to be a voice actor. What you could do is go to LibriVox. It's a website, and you could do free narration on classics, like the open source like books that are 100 years old or whatever. And
What is it called?
You can narrate LibriVox, LibraVox.com, or Google it.
That'd be cool. I
Yeah.
can try. I can try there.
And you can submit stuff there. And
Listen to other people narrate as well.
yeah. Can you do different voices
Mhm.
for different characters?
Yeah. Now I'm British,
That's very good.
and that's all I got.
That's all you got? Can you do Australian accent?
Nope.
Okay. Can you do South African?
Nope. Not on command.
Not
I'd
on
have to.
command.
I would have to hear them, and then I could mimic
You
them.
can practice it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That'd be a fun project if you would be into it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just record at home.
Record at home.
That's where I like to be.
I like to be at home too.
Did you feel at home in this movie?
I actually was thinking about that a little bit. I was like sitting on our couch, just like watching the movie, going, I feel better watching this type of movie. I don't have like a fucking audience. Audiences are hit or miss, dude. In Deadpool, I had a great audience that was watching watching the movie.
First one.
Deadpool, yeah, the first one was like a hilarious. The theater was packed. Everyone was just hyped to be there. Some guy shouted at the beginning. Everyone was like, "Yeah," just it was cool.
Deadpool, and everyone's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we're hyped." That's how the Avenger movies were too.
Yeah.
Most of Marvel is like that.
But for Annihilation, I could see like people laughing at it or whatever that don't get it or think it's stupid or like, what the hell's happening, man? And I'm not sure I don't think that happened in the theater that I was in, but it felt like it could happen, and so I just like watching those types of movies at home way better.
I remember going on a date to like bring this home.
Yeah.
I went to watch Mother with a girl,
Ooh, yikes!
and she was laughing during it. I was like, "Oh, that's not." I guarantee that is not the emotion they want you to be feeling right now, or what the audience reaction.
Yeah.
No. At no point in that movie should you be laughing.
I don't
And I
mind-
thought it was funny.
Some of like Quentin Tarantino's moments, like you laugh because you're like uncomfortable, like you're like, I don't know how to feel right now. I think that's hilarious, but I think he means for you to laugh, like in Glorious Bastards or.
I think Sam Jackson sometimes is funny.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson definitely is funny.
Just Sam Jackson. You don't have to do the Yol and L. Sam Jackson. Most people don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the time it took you to explain that to me was stupider than.
You keep using that word.
Stupider?
It's not a word.
Stupider?
It's not a word.
Stupider's a word.
No.
Stupider's a word. Stupid. More stupid?
They're more stupid. This is the way.
Stupider is a word.
I don't think stupider is a word.
I think
All
stupider
right, fill
is a
this
word.
dead airspace while I Google you and
Okay.
prove that you're wrong.
Stupider, stupidest. I don't think. Maybe you're right, because stupidest isn't. Is stupidest a word? If stupider is a word. Stupid. I don't know. Stupidly. So you could say stupidly. The way you're nodding is stupidly.
Stupider.
If it's not a word, I'll be surprised. I'll just keep going. The whole movie.
I told you to fill the dead airspace. You're not doing a very good job.
Yeah, it's hard. Give me 5 seconds. It's like hard after that. Too hard. Anal.
You're supposed to let me do those, dude. You set me up and then you just take them away. Instead of saying stupider, you should use like big brain words like inept, dopey, imbecile,
Dopey is awesome, dude.
brainless. Dull-witted.
Dull-witted.
In mad, half-baked.
You're always baked.
Dotty. Loopy. Foolish.
Are you getting distracted? Like,
Yeah,
live?
I'm sorry.
Are we?
Sorry. Dead space. Dead space.
So stupider's not a word?
Nope. Stupidest is not either.
Well, who's the stupider one for thinking it's a word?
That answer, that was a rhetorical question. I mean, there's no response required for that. Anyway, where were we? I was talking about a human mutation on a wall.
Oh yeah, that was a badass.
I think it was just a cool portrayal of it.
Yeah.
Like, you see this body, he was sitting in a chair, because you get to see the video of Kane, we were talking about where he was cutting his guts out and stuff. And then you actually see the progressed version of that, scene. It's like he died in the chair, it was further away from the wall, but so much mutation has happened in so much time that this body is now mutated. It almost looks like cancer cells, or like, what are they called? Gallbladder stones?
Metastasizing.
Yeah, the cell. Every single cell of this body except the bone has metastasized. You look some rare diseases up where they have bones that spiked out, or I forget. Obviously, there's a name for it. I don't remember what it is because I'm a stupider person than Michael.
Yeah, you're
Stupider. Jupiter.
Neptune. Uranus.
Yes. That was good.
Low effort.
Low hanging fruit, dude.
Low hanging fruit.
Like these plums. I saw Will Ferrell outtake yesterday. It's so funny.
Which movie?
I think it's Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
And they're doing like outtakes, and he's talking about his big balls, and he's calling them plums, and he's like, I just want to take my plums and eat them, let those juices fall down my face. And you have these two actors trying to maintain like serious faces for a real scene, and they're bloopers. They had to cut the whole thing because no one could stay serious. It was really funny. Anyway, how they portrayed that body up on the wall, and just like the effort that it took to put that all together, I really appreciated it. I thought it looked really cool.
I got a question for you.
Like a jaw extending out, and you got the whole like
that part was cool.
All the radical ideas that they had in order to show that kind of mutated body.
It's a fucking earthquake. I got a question for you.
Oh, I got an answer.
It says they were evacuated 2 years ago from, like, the next place we're going to is gonna be at a small village that was evacuated 2 years ago. That's what the psychologist says. Does that mean that the shimmer happened years ago?
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
So, what was weird is that...
So from the time in the very first scene where we see that comet kind of hit that lighthouse, 3 years until until Lena goes in.
Well, what was weird is that the outside world, Arrival did a real good job of this, of showing us, like, newsreels or clips of people know that this is happening. Like, there's different...
Yeah, worldwide reaction.
Yeah.
Because there's 7 ships in Arrival, so the whole world knows about them. Each country almost, not even close, but each region, I guess.
Yeah, and so they had nothing like that for this movie. Like, did Natalie Portman's character know that she didn't know her husband was going to go into the shimmer.
Correct.
But did she know that there was a shimmer nearby?
Nope.
She had no idea?
No one had any idea. They covered it up. They told it was
Isn't this weird? Like,
the physicist said that they, used some excuse of like an oil spill, but that wasn't going to hold up much longer. It's already been 3 years.
3 years, I feel like you would find, like, if there was a place...
You know how remote some areas are in the southeast?
People would be driving in...
Think of Mindhunter. When they're trying to hunt that guy, and they have all that open land out there.
That was taking place in the 70s? Yeah. This is the 2000s, bitch. 2010s.
Yeah. But radio waves don't work inside the thing. Like, there's a lot of conclusions you get to jump to in order to explain things.
I feel like it would get out.
No.
I feel like that you can't keep the shimmer a secret for 3 years.
Nope. You can black out the airspace. You can black out... You underestimate how much power they have in order to keep things out of circulation.
I think you overestimate the government's power.
You don't like the shaking, do you?
No, I don't. No, of course
Why not?
I don't. Just fucking shake over there. Don't shake on the table.
I'm gonna shake that ass. Can I have a high five for that one? That was like a pity high five. That's not exciting.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that far-fetched for them to not know about it.
Okay.
It wasn't like a huge area. I don't remember what area she said that it was covering, but I guess 3 years is pretty long for someone to not fly over it and see it.
It took them days to, but that was also because it's a confusing place to be in. But it took them days to once they entered the to get to the lighthouse.
Right.
It took them 6 days.
It was growing, right?
Yeah.
I forget the rate that she said it was growing, but I remember that. I remember hearing that detail the first time. I missed it the second time.
Okay. Adventure / mystery. I like that part about it. People inside the shimmer feel like they're going crazy. The screaming bear scene was the best scene till the end. It was just awesome. It's creepy. It delivered. The action of them killing the bear was badass. Kind of shooting it and like. Yeah.
And finally died.
And
you like violence, don't you?
The first time I watched that scene, it was like so creepy. It's like, it's so bizarre. A bear that when it opens its mouth, you expect like a roar, and it's a
screaming woman.
Yeah, screaming woman, and it just.
Because the bear ate her throat, dude.
Yeah, dude, that was. Oh, no way! She ate her throat. Dead space.
It could be like a keyword every time we hear it. Just talk out of our ass. Just keep pulling it out.
Like a
can't. Yeah. Or like a magician trick where they're pulling out the colored handkerchief. Just keeps going and going.
When I was a kid, I wanted
Energizer
to be a
Bunny.
magician.
I got nothing for that.
You got nothing
Yeah,
for that.
I'm sorry.
Kane says, "Was that you or were you me?" That was an interesting line, because people are like molding into each other.
Right. Yeah, because I'm sure he went down into the hole. He saw the other dimensional being, because we don't know what dimension, because we're dummies, because we're stupider than everyone else.
I think it was a fourth dimension.
You think it was a fourth dimensional being?
Yeah. Fourth dimensional ... Could be fifth. Could be sixth.
That's
But I think
why
it's
I'm
fourth.
saying other,
Well,
because we don't know.
if it's the difference between a fourth and a fifth.
It's a pretty big difference. Think from a second to a third.
Yeah, but I can visualize. I know what the difference between a second and a third is, and what a third to a fourth is. But beyond that,
I gotcha. Well, that's what I mean, is that I don't know what the classifications are between
plus.
them. Right. 4 plus?
It's
Just
4 plus.
We'll just do like iPhones.
Like
just
iPhones.
4 plus.
They're gonna skip 9.
Alright, we should turn this off. I
We-
think
we need to
we're
fucking
derailed
do this, yeah.
beyond. We haven't even reached our destination yet, and it's not gonna make it.
I'm done with my notes.
You got
That's all I
nothing?
got.
No way.
got.
That's all the end?
That's all I got.
Screaming bear scene was the last thing? You were just so engrossed in the last bit of the movie you didn't have any notes beyond that?
The last bit of it.
Oh. Well, what were you talking about?
Don't put that on me. Don't put your bad juju on me.
Voice in the bear. That was pretty creepy.
Great scene.
You know, what's interesting is that I wondered if we're hearing this story from Lena's character in her post debriefing, because it's sometimes, you know, like I think it was like 2 or 3 times it cuts back to her being interviewed and she's continuing to tell the story, and we're seeing the scene of the interview, but then it's coming back to the actual story and we actually get to see what happens. So I wonder if the whole thing is being retold to these guys, and she says a lot of I don't know because she's not really her copy.
So, like, is what we're watching what she's saying, or
is what we're watching what actually happened, or is it her recollection of events? Because we're cutting in and out of when she goes to sleep and when she wakes up, and her flashbacks to what we think happened, or what they want us to think happened in her past with cheating on him, and their interactions when they're in bed, and her memories of Kane, and then we cut back and she's like waking up, or she'll have a really good memory of in her past, and now she's crying because she remembers those moments that she can't have anymore because he's having multiple organ failure back home. So it's an interesting, a thought-provoking way to think about it is the whole thing is kind of like Inception. The whole thing is a dream because she's telling this from her perspective, from the cells that she got from Lena's actual character, but this alien only got bits and pieces of her memories, and so she's creating her own projection.
Do you think there's any way that the Lena character sitting in that thing is a part of the four-dimensional being? Do you think the four-dimensional being, like...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
so
the whole time they know...
That's why they have the suit on, the coronavirus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, early on, some of the other characters are like, oh, the cells are definitely in us. Like, every single one of us has a bit of the shimmer, and it's already happening to us. One of the characters decides they want to be part of the shimmer, and they just walk off and become a plant human standing up with flowers on them.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
I thought so too. Yeah. Like a whole community back there, but they're plants. Are they memories of people? Did the shimmer find the buried bones of ancestors and bring their kind of memories to light? Yeah, it was a pretty brutal death of Anya.
Oh.
She's a little bit early. Hey, we're not done recording. Shh. 5:30.
You want to wrap it up?
Nah, I got 10 more lines.
Okay. Babe will be right over there.
No, we won't.
Give us like...
I like how she's not saying these. She's
5 minutes.
Totally ignore. I wrote, no actual bears were harmed in the making of this movie.
This is stupid. All right, next note.
Dr. Ventress can't cope with the loss of life, so she's always running away towards annihilation. So she sent multiple squads into this shimmer to try and figure out what's happening. No one returns. She doesn't get any closure whatsoever. So every time someone dies, one of her coworkers dies, she just runs away.
Okay, interesting. So what's the takeaway from that?
Is that she can't cope with loss.
Oh, okay.
So it's just another kind of
wow. That's like a genuinely good insight, Corey.
Trope.
That's
in this movie.
That's a good detail.
Josie wants to willingly become annihilated, so she just walks out.
Sure.
She can't deal with her own trauma of trying to commit suicide multiple times, or like the pain of yeah. So there was another quote in the movie. It was like, we're not all damaged, but we're all dealing with our own thing.
Sure.
And so her thing is dealing with, like, I want to escape this life. Well, in the shimmer, she has escaped, so she just walks away. She's like,
she accepts it.
I'm okay to, this is how I want it. I don't want to die like someone else, where her viewpoint was when Anya gets eaten, her voice gets taken, was in a state of pain, and that last memory that she had of pain was then absorbed by the bear, and those cells live on. And so that's why we also hear her voice in the bear, is because her screams the only thing the bear knows about her when it kind of like absorbed her body.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Josie doesn't want to go out that way. She wants to go out in a way that the things that are left of me here in this bubble, in this shimmer, are going to be of happiness, of I willingly went to my own end instead of I got robbed of it.
You willingly knocked the microphone.
I almost lost it there.
Almost lost it.
What did you think of the skeletons out front of the lighthouse?
I have no idea what to make of
any
those.
symbolism?
Or I don't know.
There was 9 skeletons, if I counted correctly.
Okay.
So I have a feeling that those are like Kane's fellow soldiers, and he buried them out front.
But
or maybe his body double did, the one that made it back.
Something makes me think because that can't be, because when she was looking at the videotape of it showed them on the beach, it showed the ice trees, and then it showed the skeletons there, and then it went inside, and that's when they lit the phosphorus grenade, and the person sitting in like the lotus position, when it blows up and he gets all burned,
right?
The other version of Kane, of Poe Dameron.
So
that was already out there.
Poe Dameron is his full name in the Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
All
didn't make up that.
I was like, okay, I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, the skeletons were there, so it wasn't his crew or anything. I don't know.
We don't know what happens to his crew, actually. Besides that one guy who gets metastasized onto the wall. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that in real life.
Good. Tell me how it goes.
I'm gonna metastasize you onto this wall. See what they say.
You You know what else is a good word or a funny word? Masticate. You know what that means?
Nope.
Chewing.
You're masticating.
Masticating.
I
Not
like
at the moment. Usually do it with my clothes off.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna leave that one there.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Yep.
I feel stupid for stupid.
You regret?
Big regret.
So when Kane's like on the recording and we hear him with the phosphorus, or he's about to pull the phosphorus grenade out, or he's on camera, he's definitely having like his own LSD trip. His mind is definitely like, obviously not, and he's having a bad trip because he's like, am I you or you me?
Yep.
Like you kind of have that feeling when you're on LSD or what did you say, DMT?
DMT.
Yeah. So both of those would be like an out of body experience of like, am I really me? Are these my thoughts or those kinds of projections. Yeah, but I really liked her quote to wrap it up. Our bodies and minds will be fragmented until nothing remains.
Yeah. And we want to quickly wrap up the.
Yeah, go watch this movie because there's no way to describe that final scene. There's no way to describe it.
I loved the music was low music, wasn't loud.
Yeah.
And it was it just kept on going. I mean, it's like a solid 20 minutes of. And she gets to the lighthouse. Outside of the lighthouse is interesting. You're just looking around.
Yeah, you got these snowflake trees. You got an overcast. You got the shimmer up in the sky.
Yeah. The beach was very almost like a lake.
Untouched.
Yeah.
Very pristine.
Yeah.
Inside you see this like moss growth type thing that
veins.
Yeah, it just looks very, very alien. It's whitewashed.
My eyes are glued to it, and I've already seen this before, but I couldn't stop watching. We were just like, this is such a cool. I mean, it's very artistic.
Very artistic depiction of what they think a prismatic being would look like once it got to the bottom of a warehouse.
Yes.
Lighthouse.
Yeah. And
just the visual depiction of the actual being, busted.
Yeah.
That's where their budget went into.
Yeah.
They got Natalie for 20 and the CGI for 15.
For 15, that's the movie.
Everybody else got cut of the rest. Hopefully make our money back.
Pennies. Yeah. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. I think if you enjoyed this discussion, if you made it this far, definitely go watch the movie.
All right.
What else you got? Nothing?
Nothing.
We're done?
We're done.
All right, anal.